Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last episode we designed the ELCs 1 and 2 here. And the design goal here was for these to get attached on via the advanced grabbing units. I realize now though, that's not going to work. Because when we undock these, the advanced grabbing units are going to automatically ungrab. So we're going to have to get rid of these advanced grabbing units, and we're going to have to instead use standard docking ports. So a Clampatron docking port junior will get snapped on, not there, but approximately here, and then we'll put a second one here. They'll need to get snapped into position. So let's just use the move tool to snap that into place. There and there should be good. Now, we're going to need something to connect those two. So I'm just going to grab a pair of Clampatron docking port juniors and we'll put them right there. Now, when do we end up launching ELC 3 and 4? That is a question that I have right now. Let's see here. ELC 4 ends up launching before ELC 3 and they launch separately. Okay, that's mildly awkward. But I guess that's reasonably fine. So we can just close that and we can put it out on the pad. And while this is loading up, let's hop over to the ISS configuration here. And let's just take a quick look at this. So ELC 1 ends up going on the nadir side of the P3 truss segment. So right down here. And then ELC 2 ends up going on the zenith side over here. And Nicer actually ends up attaching into that. But we can definitely do something with a docking port for that. That's not a big deal. We're just going to have to set up the docking ports first. So that should be absolutely fine. I don't think we have any particular problem with that. We are ready to lift this off. We've got this all set up here. We just need to set the ISS as our target, which I will do just like that. And we'll launch into plane of target and engage autopilot. We'll warp forward for a couple hours here until we are at the right launch time. Excellent. So we're going to be lifting off here quite shortly. We've got about 10 minutes to lift off, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and this is just going to be a very, very standard shuttle launch at this point. So we're just going to lift this guy right on up. And we're launching in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff. Excellent. So off we go here. It's definitely a little bit awkward that when we're connected with a docking port and then we grab on with a grab arm, undocking the docking port releases the grab arm. But we've seen that in the past. So I don't want to experience that problem again, because that would be exciting to deal with what we had on the station. Does the same thing happen with a grab arm? If you have a grab arm and then another grab arm and you grab on, and then you release the first grab arm, does the other grab arm release? I actually don't know. It's an interesting question, and not one that I want to find out right now. I feel like that would be potentially very problematic to figure out. So we'll avoid that for the moment. We're accelerating on up here, of course. So we've got about 12 kilometers of altitude at this point, and about 35 seconds left in our SRBs. As usual, I'll be detaching those about 2 seconds early. Absolutely no problem whatsoever there. Of course, if I detach them late, because of the separatrons on here, we don't end up hitting the wings. I've pretty regularly been able to avoid that when we mess that up, or if I'm doing something off camera, which I've tried a few of those things off camera, and I don't think it ever actually did anything. I think it just reverted it all. But at that point, there was definitely no impacts of the wings that I can think of. So that's great. I mean, not that we're going to risk that. 3 seconds to go here. And separation of the SRBs. Fantastic. So off they go. We do need to turn down our gimbal limit down to about 33 to avoid all of that roll happening. We don't like having all of that roll there, of course. Beyond that, we can see our apoapsis is at 70 kilometers at this point, and we are pitching downward here and getting more horizontal speed, which is good. We need quite a lot of that. We're at about 900 meters per second horizontally, and we need quite a lot more horizontal speed. So that's absolutely fine. How are we doing on our inclination? Wow, that's close. We're under a degree off. Remarkable. And we're now passing our SRBs. Luckily, we end up going on a significantly different trajectory than they do. So that is absolutely great. We're watching our apoapsis height going very slowly up here. It will go up considerably faster soon. We just need to get that horizontal speed up. And really, we only need about another, what, like 500 meters per second in that, I think? Something around there. So not too bad, all things considered. Of course, we'll have to do our standard changing over into orbital mode. That's fine. But it looks like we're not going to need an inclination change of any real amount. We're about a degree off right now. But that's fine. I can work with a degree. No problem. Apoapsis height is really starting to go up now. 97, 98, 99, 100, and we're just going to watch that absolutely skyrocket from here, with our horizontal speed getting very, very close to getting us into orbital velocities. And we are now in orbital velocities, fine-tuning that apoapsis, and there we go. So let's physics warp our way around right to the circularization burn. There we go. And we can regular time warp at this point, right on forward. Excellent. And we'll just let MechJeb get this right into as good of an orbit as it can. It's not going to be perfect, no doubt about that. It never is. We're still about a degree off in terms of the inclination. Okay. I mean, this is definitely good enough at this point. Yeah, this is good enough. MechJeb, you don't need to do any more. Okay. So we'll call that good. We'll go into kill rot, and we can ditch this tank. It's got some extra fuel, but we're going to get rid of it as soon as we finish up this turn back here. Okay, about now. That'll do. And Bill, you can EVA and configure us for spaceflight. Excellent. So over goes Bill. If he can remember how to fly here. Down you go, Bill. Okay. Perfect. Now you can grab on. There we go. And let's just grab our struts here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. And we'll just change this from a 20-degree angle to a 0-degree angle. And we'll put our struts right on back. 1, 2. That one didn't connect. 3. And finally, we'll go with a 4th. We'll do this internal. That's okay. And now we are reconfigured for spaceflight, so let's take Bill back inside. Up you go, Bill. Depth perception is not Bill's strong suit, but that's okay. He'll hop right on in, and let's see what a rendezvous would end up looking like. So we can add a maneuver here. Okay, that's not terrible timing. And I don't want that normal change. So let's just move this guy over to about here. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. That is within 10 kilometers. It's close enough. We can dial it in a little closer, though. Yeah, this is good enough. 8 kilometers will do. We'll just align to that node. And let's warp. Fantastic. So this is going to be about 124 meters per second. Not too bad. We've got more than enough delta V to do whatever we need to on the station, of course. Oh, hang on. We didn't thrust limit this down. We probably should do that. It's not strictly necessary here, but let's get that going. Okay, and then thrust limit this guy down to 10% thrust as well. There we go. We've got about 17 seconds. And we're burning now. Phenomenal. So that will do, and we'll get our retrograde burns in very, very soon here. I think we're going to want to just burn retrograde. We'll have to look, actually. I'm not sure what our relative speed will be. Only 150. Wow, okay. So we might actually want to do prograde for our first corrective steering. Fascinating. This is close enough, and we'll go into kill rot, and let's just warp over to this descending node. That'll do. In the meantime, hopping into target mode. And yeah, we're going to want to go towards the station for this first burn. So that means that we're going to want to position this about here or so. And I'm going to take this up to about 200 meters per second. This is overshooting a little bit. So that's reasonably fine. Let's warp in a little bit closer and bring this around to relative velocity minus. Actually, let's cancel this warp and go to relative velocity minus first. That'll probably be for the best. Yeah, there we go. And then we can warp into about here. Looks good. Where's the station? There it is. Cool. So let's do a corrective burn. We're going to be pushing this node. So just doing a quick correction out over this direction or so. Looks reasonably good there. Let's go to relative velocity minus, and we can see we're still about 12 kilometers out. 0.1 kilometer separation. That was a good corrective burn. I like it. So now we can warp in until we are, I don't know, maybe about 3 kilometers out. 5, 4, and... okay. Commencing burn now. This is a little early, I think. Yeah, we're loading in the station now. And goodbye frame rate, as usual. Indeed, goodbye frame rate. Yikes. This is a slideshow now. Well, we know how to fix that. That's absolutely fine. Not a big concern. We'll just continue to decelerate a bit here. We're still about 2 kilometers out, actually. Okay, let's just warp in a little bit here. Okay, coming out of that warp. We're about 500 meters away, so this is about the time to be doing this braking. Gonna take it down to about 10 meters per second. We're over braking slightly here, so we're gonna have to coast a little bit further. Okay. Man, this frame rate makes things difficult. Cool. So we're about 200 meters out here. That's reasonably fine. We're going to have to figure out where exactly we want to mount these. I didn't really design these trusses to have these mounted to them, and I probably should have. But let's just bring this down to a halt now. Okay. Going to need to throttle down significantly due to the frame rate. And let's just keep burning a little bit here. 3, 2, 1. Good enough. Okay, we'll put that on kill rot, and I will make a quick save here, and we'll be back after I restart the game so that we have some frame rate. See you guys in a moment. Okay, so here we are with the game restarted, with a marginally better frame rate. It's not amazing, but I mean, that's just kind of the way things go at this point with the ISS being what it is. So that is absolutely fine. We need to think about where we're going to install these. So they're going to end up being attached basically like this guy is, right? Although this guy is attached via a grab arm. So there is that. That one is... what is that? No, seriously, what is that? Hang on. I didn't expect there to actually be something attached here. 1 second. I'm going to do a little bit of digging and see if I can figure out what exactly this is supposed to be. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've got it figured out. So, taking a look at the diagram here, this basically has to be ESP3, which means that it's actually on the wrong side. This is on currently the zenith side, and it should be on the nadir side, I believe. Let's double check that. This is nadir this way, so yeah, it should actually be down over here. So this is in the wrong place. I'm not sure there's anything that we can really do about that at this exact moment. What we need to do right now is we need to free up our robotic arm. So that means that ESP3 is in the wrong place. We could just claim that that's ELC4. Or rather, we could just claim that that's ELC2. Right here. And that we're just going to put in an additional ELC over on this side over here. We could claim that. I'm not sure we want to. Grabbing onto it, though, would be exciting. No doubt about that. But it does actually go on the other side of the station here. So it's a very similar thing from what we have here. So if we open this up and we get these, at least one of them deployed. Let's have Bill EVA here as soon as he can. Okay, hop on out, Bill. And we are going to grab these struts. So strut number 1. And I'll just put that over here for now. Any moment now, game. There you go. Cool. And then strut number 2. It'll get caught up eventually. There we go. And strut number 3. Of course, this is all to do with the fact that the ISS is an incredibly complicated build, right? No doubt about that. So let's just hop back in from here, and let's get these guys oriented a bit differently. So first things first, I'm going to take this down to a target angle of 0. And I'm going to put this at a target angle of 90. Just to get these about oriented correctly. Okay, so while that's happening, we can definitely extend this guy on out. And then this guy on out. Getting us a nice amount of distance there. I would also like to grab this and rotate it. Instead of being at a target angle of 22 degrees, I want to take that to be negative 112? No, this is definitely wrong. I want it to be pointing forward. So we're going to take it around over this way. Currently rocking an angle of about 90 degrees. So we want this to be at about 112 here, not negative 112. Okay. Bill, you can EVA. And I want to anchor this thing down a bit. So I'm just going to grab this strut. And we're going to run this guy as up as we can. I don't know what our reach is going to end up being here. Oh, we can reach this. Okay. We'll just strut it into here. Just to hold it firm. Perfect. Next, I want to extend out this arm. So this telescoping hydraulic cylinder will extend out to its maximum extension. This is unable to rotate at this point, which is fine. We did not design it to be rotatable. And that's absolutely okay. We'll just have to anchor it in like this and dock it in this directionality. Or we can let go of it and grab it with this arm. That is also a theoretical possibility. For right now, I'm just going to strut it down so that it's not going anywhere. That is mission number 1 here. So we'll just do that. There we go. And Bill is going to hop on in here, and we're going to need to get a fair amount closer to the station. So we're going to have to rotate this guy on around. And we're going to want to head up over like this way for now. We are not going to be going to our final position just yet, but I do want to get us a fair amount closer. So let's just rotate on over. And we'll orient to approximately here-ish. Okay, approximately here-ish. And let's burn our engines and bring this in at about 0.5 meters per second. There we go. Going to use RCS to adjust our heading so that we're going directly ahead. Okay, there we go. So let's warp a bit forward here and get a little bit closer to the station. So, we're definitely heading a little more up than anticipated, but that's okay. Yep, I don't mind this. So let's just rotate this around. The vector of our heading, that is. Ooh, things are a little wild in directionality right now. Okay. Noted. Let's bring this to a halt. And we're going to have to bring this guy this way a bit. Okay. So we're just bringing this down to a halt for now. And we need to position ourselves for the first one of these. So which one are we going to do first? Taking a look at the actual layout here, we know that ELC1 goes on the nadir side, on the port side. So we're really going to want to do ELC2 first. Right? This is ELC1 and 2? Yeah. This is ELC2. So we want to be over on the starboard side, and we want to put that... Oh, that's going to be awkward, because we want to put that basically exactly where the ESP3 currently is. So that makes things very, very awkward for us. Let's rotate ourselves over to about here. And I'm wondering if we have the room to just go straight down here. We might. So I'm going to bring us backwards a tiny, tiny amount. And we're going to go down at this point. We need to get down to the other side. We need to be on the zenith, or the nadir side. We need to be on the nadir side. We're on the zenith side right now. So we need to go down a fair amount. Just bringing this up to about 0.5 meters per second. Okay, that's 0.4. And that's 0.5 meters per second. We should have a little bit of backwards momentum here too, so that hopefully we don't clip anything over here. Okay. We're just sinking right on down right now. And then we're going to have to head over this direction, which is fine. Okay, I'm going to... we'll keep falling for a little bit here. Okay, about here. Now we need to bring this back. Cool. So I'm just breaking our downward momentum right now. And there we can see our velocity marker. That's fine. We don't really care too much. We don't have our final point even attached yet. Okay, so let's just position ourselves about here. Cool. Now we can rotate ourselves a bit. And I want to just bring... Actually, we should RCS this. And bring this down to a halt. I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Yeah, let's just stop moving for now. Relative to the station. Okay. Now I want to head over this direction, and we'll figure out where we actually want to put this, but first we need to get a wee bit closer. So we're just going to head down over here or so. Maybe a little bit more this way. About here. Okay. I'm going to head in at a very, very slow pace here. About 0.5 meters per second again. Cool. Okay. So let's just head a bit forward. Warping in. And we're going to need to attach an attachment point here. So first things first, I want to get a little closer here. This thing is getting pretty close to impact. RCS is not on right now. Okay, there we go. Let's bring this down to a halt. We're going to need to attach right up over here, right? So that's fine. 0.1 meters per second and 0 meters per second. Bill, you can EVA now. And what I want to do is I want to grab, let's see here. This is the zenith side. So we want to attach this on the nadir side, and this should be attached basically halfway through this truss segment. Okay. So we're going to grab this guy. And I want to attach it about right here. So we're going to need to let go for the time being, which means that we have to attach this here, because we can't move while we are holding an object. Okay. So I want to turn RCS on and go upwards a little bit here. And now I want to grab this docking port. I want to just slap it in right here as soon as we're in range. I have no idea where that attached. But I don't... Actually, it's kind of okay. You know what? We'll take it. That seems reasonably fine. So for right now, we can get ourselves back inside. So we'll grab on and board. If we can climb up a little bit, that would be great. There we go. So now I want to set this as our target. It's not perfectly aligned, but it was always unlikely that it would be. And I want to control from here, turn RCS off, and I want to point at target. Kill rot. We're a little too close. We're going to need to go down a little bit here. Okay. So down we go. We just need to get a little bit more space here. Cool. And what angling do we want this thing to be going on? Okay, noted. So that should be enough in terms of our downward velocity. I want to point at target. And we're working on killing our relative velocity here. Okay. So we're going to need to go a little bit forward, and in terms of the orientation of this, we want these to be aligned with this, right? So that's essentially saying this panel here needs to be perpendicular to this. So that basically means that we come in at an angle that's something kind of like this. Okay, now we're going to need some forward vectoring here. So let's just get ourselves a little bit of forward velocity. I don't want to be going directly at the target here. Not yet, anyway. I'm a little concerned about our nose striking here. So I think we might have to retract this a little bit. Which is actually quite fine. I'm actually quite okay with that. Okay, I'm just slowing us down a little bit here. Because, yeah, we're going to have some nose impact action going on here pretty shortly. So we're going to have to change our actual target extension here. Okay, Bill, I need you to EVA. We're going to have to grab this strut. Now that we know what angle we're coming in at, it's not a problem. So we'll just need to get this strut put over here. Retract this guy. And then hop back over to Bill. And attach here. As soon as we have a good view of it, anyway. So attach here. And eventually we'll get there. There we go. Load it up. And we'll just do that. Cool. So now we're going to need to go virtually from here. And I want to put this on kill rot. control from here, and I want to go in the down vector from here. So down vector is going to end up being here. Because we just need to go this way a little bit. Alternatively, we could turn this around. And that might not be a bad idea, actually. We'll have more room if we do turn it around. So that's probably for the best. It's also time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to bring this thing in. But I want to, before we go, just turn this all the way around like this. So that I don't forget. Because we don't actually care which way this goes in, but we'll be much better off bringing it in from this side. Okay, let's control from here, real quick here, and point at target. Okay. Now, in terms of the directionality of these things, just double checking here. So the panel that they're attached to should be running in the forward-aft vector. So that means that the panel should be facing, like, this direction, which means that we should ultimately rotate this, I think. Because I would prefer to bring it in like this, but it actually comes in like this. Which, of course, means that we're going to have some nose issues if we bring it in like this. Regardless, next episode is the time to fix that. You can bring your, or rather leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.